If you have an urge to visit the great state of California, you really shouldn't miss Coronado Island. Located just off the coast of San Diego, this tiny town is unlike any other place on Earth. And for more than a century, it's played home or host to Hollywood celebrities, professional athletes, presidents, the ultra-rich, and even our family. But since selling our house here more than 2 years ago, we've only been back one time. Luckily, we've teamed up with Coronado Island Marriott Resort and Spa for a 5-day vacation and the chance to highlight some of our locals' favorite hotspots, hidden gems, and island activities. So if you feel like experiencing the Millionaire Island that's not supposed to be an island, this episode's for you.
With a median home price of $2.5 million, it makes Coronado one of the most expensive zip codes in the US.
One of the reasons for that is because it is effectively an island, so there's only so much expansion they can do to build more homes.
Plus, people want to live here because it's safe, it's charming, it's beautiful, there are great restaurants, there's great shopping, the walkability is 100%. We want to live here. Again.
Coronado Island is just a quick drive over the iconic Coronado Bridge from downtown San Diego. And that's one of many things that makes this place so unusual. You've got this very intimate, tiny island where you can have true island life, and yet you're just minutes from the hustle and bustle of a real big city.
So Coronado is really made up of 3 parts. There's the Silver Strand, the Village, where we are right now, and then North Island. And the Pacific Ocean is on the west side, and the San Diego skyline is on the east, right here.
And in between Coronado and that beautiful San Diego skyline is the San Diego Bay, which also happens to be the most beautiful setting for the Coronado Island Marriott Resort and Spa.
So while Cole is off playing with a local friend of his, Hadley, and Brooklyn is hanging out with her big sister Reagan and her boyfriend Mason, just catching up on life, we're gonna give you a lay of the land.
If you wanna come stay on the island and you're thinking of renting a home, keep in mind that this island has a law against any rental shorter than 28 days. So if you wanna stay and pay for a more reasonable vacation duration, we think that the best bet is gonna be this Marriott hotel.
We stayed at pretty much every single hotel on this island, and the Marriott has the best value when you're thinking about the location, the views, the cleanliness, the size of the room, and the price. Thank you. Thank you. There are about 400 rooms in the hotel, including the villas, and they all have outdoor entrances, so you feel like you're in a tropical paradise.
Because you are in a tropical paradise. We, by the way, did not get one of the villas. We got 2 adjoining rooms so that we could split ourselves off from the kids real efficiently.
We're up on the 2nd floor, and we're gonna take the stairs, because we like to take the stairs. And we're right here. Well, welcome home to us. So we're gonna be here for the next 4 nights, 5 full days on the island. We can't wait to play. But like I said, they have huge rooms here. This is a king-size bed, a full living room, a little desk area, the TV, 5-piece bath. The kids are staying right next door, and their room was ready a little bit early, so this is the first time we're seeing the master bedroom. The bathroom is great. Look how big that tub is. And then this closet is also pretty deep. You've got your safe right in there and some extra linens for that sleeper sofa. And a robe. I'll be slipping into that later today. And look at these snackies they left for us. I can pretty much eat and live off of only meat and cheese. And I know Brooklyn could live off of just milk alone. But look at these 2 trays of cookies. They look so, so yummy. Cookies are kind of like my comfort food. I eat them when I'm happy. I eat them when I'm sad. So now I've got plenty. Oh, and a cute little note. Oh, so this is an aerial view of the resort. Welcome Phil, Aaron, and family to our resort oasis, the Coronado Island Marriott Resort and Spa. We are thrilled to have you on property and be part of your ongoing 7 Continents, 7 Ways series. We hope you have an amazing stay and time in Coronado. If you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Sincerely, Amy and Resort staff. Thank you, Amy and Resort staff. But we all know we didn't come here to stare at the inside of our hotel room. We want to check out the view.
I know there are probably a few people in this world who would prefer to have ocean views, but for me, it's always been the perfect like yin and yang kind of thing to be on the island and yet have the city views. I love seeing skylines, especially at night, so we'll have to show you after dark. Seeing the bridge to the right, the bay in front of you, and then the whole skyline with the super yachts over here. This is, I think, the most spectacular place that you can stay on the island. And what a cool little addition. I don't think they had this last time we stayed here, but everybody's playing these little games down here in the lawn.
Just feels like a wholesome family vacation. But speaking of family, we should probably get ours and get them some dinner. I told you about the walkability. So the property is right on this walking bike path. It runs from the golf course all the way to the end of the ferry landing area. So we can just take this path and go right to where we want to go for dinner. This reminds me so much of the place we stayed at in Premyshten, Croatia. We had a village that was kind of on the mountainside, and there's a path just like this. It was about a half a mile, maybe closer to a mile, into the town where all the restaurants and shops and ice cream parlors and stuff was. It was awesome. We loved making that walk, and we love this walk too.
Aaron already mentioned the different areas of the island, but did you know that until the mid-1900s, North Island and the village were actually two separate areas. So North Island was a true island that was separated, but then they connected them. North Island today is all military base. In fact, San Diego in general is one of the most concentrated military areas in the entire country. I would say maybe only Honolulu could be up there.
We're already at the ferry landing.
The ferry landing has hundreds of businesses, mostly restaurants, some souvenir shops. You can do rentals for things like stand-up paddle boards and sea kayaks. We've done that before. You can check out that episode up here. But to get dinner tonight, we wanted to pick some place that we've been to before that's really good. And one of our favorite places on the island for casual eating is the pizzeria known as Village Pizzeria.
We got one of our kids right here.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
My name is Cole.
Cole, are you Mr. in the Wild?
No. That's Mr. in the Wild.
And this is his friend Hadley.
Hi, Hadley.
Hi.
Our other kids are here too. This is Mason. If you watch our Live the Philippines channel, you saw Reagan, our oldest daughter, and her boyfriend Mason come out to visit us in Manila, and we had the best time out there. So go check out those episodes. And Brooklyn, she just got back from camp. All right, let's go get some pizza.
Okay, can we start with a 28-inch pie? And what's the most we can split that in terms of toppings?
Just half and half.
Okay, so can we do half of it with bacon? Do you have bacon? Yeah.
Yep, we have
and pepperoni?
All right, bacon and pepperoni, one half.
And then on the other, basically like all the meats. So the meathead.
Meathead, okay.
Oh, and is it possible to cut it in triangles instead of the squares?
We've never done it. I don't see why not. Yeah.
Okay, maybe let's do it.
This pizza is ginormous. It's 28 inches, so
That's 71 centimeters.
71 centimeters. The reason why we want triangles is because I think it's a funny thing that if a pizza is in a square shape, it doesn't taste as good. Am I alone here?
I have 2 Sprites and 3 Dr. Peppers, okay? Here's some waters for you folks as well.
I'm really hungry and excited for this, and wait until you see how big it is. It's gonna take up this whole area next to me. That's what this spot's for.
Actually, they're not gonna put it on the table. It's gonna go on that tray right down there.
All right. What do we want? What do we want? Put a little
Medium large. I'm just
Colt, what do you want?
I would like 1 fine piece of that one.
What do you think? What do you think of it compared to the size of my head? I think I can eat this, and we're gonna see how much Mason can help us out by finishing that whole pizza, because that guy likes to eat. This is gonna take some technique.
I gotta ask.
Yeah, I met him. Because I do love.
1 and 1, what was it exactly?
The best pizza on the island for sure.
This pizza is truly phenomenal, as is the phenomenal sunset view. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, and this is just a small taste of the adventures that we have planned for this week, so we'll see you in the morning.
Good morning in sunny Coronado.
So much to do in Coronado, both on the resort grounds and off the resort grounds, so we've decided to just kind of divvy up everything between 2 different days for us. Today we're going to do everything we possibly can on the Marriott grounds, and then tomorrow we're going to do everything outside of the resort grounds. With that in mind, there is one particularly cool activity that we're going to do today that will take us away from the resort, but it is associated with the resort, so we're counting it toward today. Right now we're poolside, and in our minds there's no better way to do poolside than with a little bit of shade in addition to the sun. So we have what looks to be about the same size as a queen-size bed right here under a ginormous umbrella. So we are going to hop in the pool, Colt's already in the hot tub, and see what else we can do around here until our big appointment at noon.
This is the official opening of daybed number 8, which is the one that we have reserved. And it's the perfect view of the bridge and the skyline. We think this is the best spot because it's the one on the edge, so unobstructed views for us. More snackies! They just brought us a basket for our daybed. So we got some chips, Cheez-Its, fruit snacks, goldfish, ooh, Gushers. Colt's gonna fight over that.
Gushers.
Oh,
Thank you.
told ya. And we have some LaCroix sparkling sodas. Well, let's see if Brooklyn wants any snackies. Or do you want a floaty? Got some fruit snacks, a floaty. Anything else?
No.
The little things are so thrilling sometimes. Stephanie just said that Awooga, the pool snack bar, opens at 11, but she dropped off this menu for us to peruse. We've got drinks on one side and the food and snackies on the other side. So we'll definitely have to partake in a little bit. We'll need some more substantial food than the little chips.
I like our little dividers for privacy from all of the other daybed holders here. This is actually a great setting to give you a little bit more very interesting history about the island of Coronado. Maybe I'll have Aaron tell you why it's not actually an island next, but first, the history. Even though Coronado's history goes back to maybe the mid-1500s when there was European exploration, it wasn't until 1885 that the island, including the Silver Strand, Coronado itself, and North Island, like Aaron talked about, were purchased by Babcock and Story for the magical sum of about $110,000 US, which, adjusted for inflation, today would be worth about $3.4 million, which means they were able to buy this entire island for just a bit more than what the median home price is here today. $110,000 wouldn't even come close to buying you even the least expensive home on this island.
Phil keeps referring to it as an island, but it is an island, but it isn't an island, but it is an island because Coronado is connected to Imperial Beach by a narrow strip of land called the Silver Strand. It's only wide enough, or it's just wide enough for a highway or a road. But technically, it's a peninsula. However, some of the locals will argue that because Silver Strand is so narrow and small, it's a connected island, which would make it an island.
It's a point of contention amongst locals, where some will say it's an island because they want to think of it as an island. We fit into that group. And then there's the other group who just maybe wants to sound a little bit smarter, and so they'll always point out, technically it's not an island.
This hot topic causes a lot of bar fights. Just kidding. There are no bar fights that I know of.
It's not an island. I think it is an island because it's all about the mindset.
Right? Like, you could not convince me I'm not on an island right now. I'm living the tropical island life.
I think it's time to see if Colt has gotten too big for me to throw in the pool. Still got it. Works up an appetite though. Got it right here, thank you. Got a little Mai Tai. It's actually the thirst I didn't even know I needed to quench. Every bit as good as my own.
And our food's coming too.
Just a little snack to tide us over until after our next activity. We got, oh wow, it's like a fruit and vegetable bowl. This is one of my favorite things in the entire world. jicama. If you've never had one, I feel like it's a cross between an apple and a potato. So it's very refreshing because it's not very sweet, but it's very satisfying. Crunch, flavor, texture, everything.
It's called the Baja Fruit Cart, and Colt, I had to get this for us because I knew he'd especially love it. It comes with, what is this juice called? Like
Turmeric sauce?
No, it starts with a C. It's like, here, I'll look on here. It's chamoy and tahine, so you make it like kind of tangy and spicy. And I don't know if we pour it all over or if we dip it in each. Dip it? Let's dip it.
Okay.
That is so good. That chamoy, it's almost, I feel like it's like tomato, strawberry sauce. I'm probably wrong. With lime. Tomato, strawberry, lime sauce.
Okay, I'm gonna try it now. I think the best combo, obviously, the chamoy and a little bit of the tahini.
Chamoy is actually a Mexican condiment and is made from pickled fruits and dried chilies and lime juice. It's like spicy, sour, tart, bitter, a little bit sweet. We gotta finish up though because we have to get to our next activity, which is just outside of the resort grounds. Our next activity is jet skiing, and technically this is not owned by the Marriott, it's privately owned. It is called Luxury Jet Ski Rentals. But Tyler, who's the owner, has kind of hooked us up with a little experience here because they've got a great partnership with the Marriott Hotel. So it's literally right outside of our room area.
Perfect. Right in the middle and enjoy, all right?
Fun. My hands are cramping from holding on so tightly. I feel like I've been riding a horse for an hour because I was like clenching my legs to hold on because I love speed. Well, I am the lucky one. My next activity is something very relaxing and I know I'm gonna enjoy it.
Meanwhile, Colt just ran back to the ferry landing to play on the beach, so I'm gonna head over there and keep an eye on him. But this is one of the really cool features about Bayside is you actually have a couple of really nice little beaches where you can play. It's much less crowded than the Pacific Ocean side. And once again, it's just about 2 minutes away. Found Colt. What's up, buddy? What are you doing?
I was buried alive. Like 100% of my body was under the sand. We dug a hole like 4 to 5 feet deep, and it was scary. But at the end of the day, I got out.
Yeah, you look pretty dirty. Why don't you come up here and jump off the pier for me?
Okay, I'm washed off. Let's go jump. Are you gonna jump, Dad?
No, I'm not. With you.
But you have your swimsuit on. You have to be brave. I wanna do it too. I'm gonna jump from approximately 13 feet. It's gonna be scary, but I'm gonna do it for like the millionth time today. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's do it again.
Good jump, buddy. Hope he doesn't get eaten by a shark. Ooh, speaking of sharks, this is a perfect time to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Surfshark. No matter where we travel, we're always cautious about our online activity when we use public networks. That's one reason we've used Surfshark for more than 2 years now. Surfshark's our absolute favorite VPN app. That's a virtual private network, so it encrypts and protects our sensitive information from hackers as it's passed to and from our devices and across the internet. It also lets Brooklyn and Colt watch their favorite anime when we're at our place in the Philippines. Because so many shows and streaming apps are restricted by country, But every time you connect to Surfshark, you choose from more than 3,200 servers in 100 countries. So we can, for example, pick a server in the US when we're actually in Bangkok, and the IP address will virtually put us in the US, allowing us to bypass those content restrictions. That's also how Erin watches her Oregon Ducks football games on Hulu when we're overseas. Our entire family shares a single Surfshark account because one subscription can be used on unlimited devices. And since we all have phones, computers, and a few tablets, that's a lot of devices. You can start taking advantage of these features by using our discount code ABCFamily. That'll get you an additional 4 months free, and with Surfshark's 30-day money-back guarantee, there's really zero risk to just trying it out for yourself. Well, while he keeps doing his thing and Erin's doing her thing, I'm gonna go get ready for the last thing that we're gonna be doing today, which, no surprise, is gonna continue to take advantage of these incredible views.
Time for me to get a massage. Oh, it smells so good. I love the smell in a spa. Relaxing aroma of lavenders. Hello. I'm doing well, thanks. I have a massage booked. I'm gonna get changed in my robe in the ladies' locker room, and the camera can't come in there. But it can be in the massage room. I'm gonna have a 60-minute Swedish massage. They've got a robe warmer, so while I take this off, it's gonna stay nice and toasty for when I'm done and I put it back on. Ooh, it feels like there's a heater in the bed too. It's really warm under here. This is perfect timing after the jet skiing because I am a little sore. I'm telling you, I was gripping on so tightly. My muscles need a little tension release. But I loved the jet skiing, especially going under the bridge. It's so iconic. The bridge has this iconic shape. It's just so picturesque. But the reason it has to have that very specific shape is because at the height of it, it needs to be over 200 feet for the Navy ships to get through. There are some rumors out there that it needed to be that length and height to get at least 2 miles for federal funding because the bridge is, I think, 2.1 miles long. Now for some me time. Let's get to this massage. I'll see you later.
Well, we are all cleaned up. How was your massage, baby?
It was so good. And now I smell awesome.
We're gonna go meet Reagan and Mason and Brooklyn on the back patio here for the ultimate sunset bayside amazing view dinner.
Ah, beautiful views out here. How perfect is that? We've got a ship passing right now. The military ships are beautiful. And it's basically the same view we had with the pool, except for up a little higher, so it's a little better.
The name of the restaurant is Albaca, and it is a California New American restaurant, and the name itself has its roots in that whole California name, because before California was split into California State in the United States and Baja California in Mexico, there was one California, and the upper area was called Alta, and the lower part was called Baja, because those are the Spanish words for high and low. But before we get into the menu itself, I am going to get a cocktail, and this Acapulco sounds very interesting. The Acapulco is Vida Mezcal, pineapple, and maple. Sounds fantastic. What are you having, babe?
I'm just gonna do a glass of white wine. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
I'm glad I got white wine because I am drooling over this halibut. It's Pacific halibut, so caught right out there, that way. What are you gonna get, babe?
I'm gonna get the premium Angus strip loin steak, and I'm gonna share it with Brooklyn.
I'm getting the Mighty Mo burger.
Okay, Mason and I are getting the organic heirloom tomato bisque and the lobster pappardelle.
I think that's adorable. Couples that share food are stronger.
See if I can taste the maple in this cocktail. Can definitely taste the smokiness from the mezcal. I don't taste maple, but obviously it's just there to give it a little bit of sweetness, and it is a fantastically balanced cocktail. I already gave you one very interesting tidbit about the state of California, but here's another one that's kind of mind-blowing. Did you guys know that if California was a country, it would be the 5th largest economy in the entire world, behind Japan and above India?
Where would
A
Texas
bus?
stand?
Ooh, good question. Baby, you are such a wealth of knowledge. I love learning from you.
Yeah, baby, let's have a look at that hat. Tell us about this.
The Real Housewives of Coronado. It's because we used to have a place here on the island, and I had to have the hat. I just saw it in the window one day walking down Orange Avenue, and I just thought it was adorable. I've got a tidbit of my own about California. Since there's not too much humidity here, it gets cold when the sun's not shining right on you. The average temperature is probably like mid to high 70s all year round. But in the morning, it's pretty chilly. In the evening, it's pretty chilly. So they're actually going to turn on this fire pit for us.
There we go.
Much better.
It looks like everybody got what they ordered, so we're gonna dig in and enjoy the meal. We're also gonna call it a night in terms of filming. But tomorrow is when we're gonna be off resort for the entire day, so stick around.
Good morning. It's another beautiful day in Southern California. And Phil and I are going to take advantage of it by going for a bike ride around the island.
As we've already mentioned, we love walking, so normally that's what we would do, but the resort happens to offer free bicycle use for guests here, so we want to give that a try. We think we can cover a lot more ground, and we want to show you some of the more iconic homes around the island.
Now, I know I said it was a beautiful day and it looks overcast, but that is totally typical and normal. It's called the marine layer, where it's kind of foggy in the morning, and as the sun comes out, it burns off that marine layer and it becomes a super, super sunny day. So no doubt in my mind, it's gonna be just an hour or two more and sunny the rest of the day.
Looks like they have about 40 bikes here. You just pick them up at the wellness center and off you go. We're gonna take the walking, jogging, bicycle path that we pointed out yesterday. Now, when Aaron and I usually go on our walks, we will walk the entire grid of streets, up and down, both directions, all around the entire island. That gives you a little bit of a sense of how small this island actually is. Granted, it's like 10 miles when we do that, which is a lot for some people, but we like doing it pretty much every day when we're here. This is one of my favorite perspectives of the bridge here. You can really see that curve that we were talking about yesterday that makes it over 2 miles long. This is also a really easy place to get a fantastic professional looking photo of the bridge, even if you have no photography skills whatsoever. It just makes the shot for you.
Now we're just gonna ride past the golf course. It's a public course, by the way, and into Gloria Bay. Average price for the homes on this street, probably about $4 million, easy, so at least. These buildings out there, they're called the Coronado Shores, and they're the only high-rises on the island. There are 10 buildings total. They started construction in 1970, and the late Arizona Senator John McCain and his wife Cindy owned several units in those buildings, and they also had some other homes on the island too. Cindy might still own a couple of units today.
Depending on which unit you have in which building, you could have spectacular views of either the ocean or Gloria Bay right here, including the bridge and into the main island.
We're gonna get back to the bike ride, but we will be visiting Gloria Bay later today.
Right here is another one of Senator John McCain's former homes on the island. And if you don't know who John McCain is, number one, he was a Navy fighter pilot who was shot down during the Vietnam War and served multiple years in a prisoner of war camp. But until his death just a few years ago, he was one of the most powerful men in U.S. politics.
When you're on Coronado Island, you might see a lot of images and wording about the Wizard of Oz, the Emerald City. That's because Frank Baum, who wrote Wizard of Oz, wrote it from that house right there. He rented that home while he was on the island and wrote the entire story. Right here on Ocean Avenue probably has the most expensive homes on this street for obvious reasons, gorgeous views, and access to the beach right there. But this house behind me, it's famous for all the wrong reasons. There are two tragic incidences that happened here. A young boy lost his life and a young woman lost her life here. There have been multiple true crime documentaries made of it. It's a very, very tragic story. But the home and the renovations are pretty interesting. The home was originally built by Spreckles, last name Spreckles, for his daughter. He was a major developer here on the island, and they called it the Spreckles Mansion. I don't know what year it was constructed, probably early 1900s. And it made several changes throughout the years, but the more recent owners who purchased it a few years ago had restrictions on how much they could renovate the home. So they actually found pictures of the original construction from the early 1900s, and they remodeled to make it look more like that. So this is more of its original face than it was 5 to 10 years ago.
Now this home is one of my favorite on the island, although I would never buy it even if I was a billionaire because it's just over the top. But this was once owned by the CEO of the Funko Corporation. They make those bobbleheads for every character you can think of. It was originally listed for $39 million just 2 years ago, but recently sold for $28 million. And as you can see, they're already doing another complete remodel.
Now we're passing a house of another famous person who actually still owns the home, so we're not going to dox him and show the house. But Jim Harbaugh, he's the coach of the LA Chargers, and he coaches my Oregon boy, Justin Herbert. Woo! He's had that house there for a few years, and now that he's with the Chargers, maybe we'll see him around the island more often. Now, I told you that sun would come out, so I'm gonna get my G's on, and we're getting pretty hungry now. We're done with the houses. We're ready to show you one of the local favorite breakfast spots. Maybe one more celebrity spotting. That was our old home. It's gonna be so hard to choose in here. This pumpkin loaf looks so good. I'm torn between that. The shortbread is a favorite of mine, and an oatmeal cranberry cookie. You know I'm a sucker for cookies.
When we lived here, we would come here all the time, even to get supplies for our own pantry at the house. But if you're staying at the hotel, like, this is a fantastic place to have just a block away. It's really, you can't go wrong no matter what you order. But I think we know what we're gonna get. Kind of a collection of things. Can we please do 1 peach streusel coffee cake, 4 raspberry crumb cakes for the kids, 1 pumpkin loaf, and whatever coffee she wants.
How strong is your espresso? If I get a small 2 shots, it comes with one. And do you have oat milk?
Yeah.
I would love oat milk, yeah. Do you have sugar-free vanilla? Perfect. This is my perfect latte.
All right.
Thank you. My first sip. I've been needing this for a few hours now. It's heaven. Let's get these treats back to the kids in the room. Well, now I have the challenge of riding a bike with the coffee in my hand. I can do it. I can do anything. If Phil can bike with a camera, then I can bike with my coffee. All right, guys, I hope you're ready for some yummy, yummy pastries.
Want a crumb cake, honey? Raspberry looks really good.
Very crumbly. I'm gonna dig into this pumpkin loaf. It looks so stinking good, and we're gonna enjoy this view on our balcony. We've shown you so much of the Bayside, and there is a whole other side to this island. We want to take you to the beach now.
Every summer, from the beginning of July until right after Labor Day, the city of Coronado provides a free summer shuttle. It's a bus that runs basically up and down Orange Avenue from one end to the other, and conveniently, the last stop on this side is the Coronado Island Marriott Resort and Spa.
Or you could say it's the first stop.
It runs every 15 minutes from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. 7 days a week during those dates.
And it's got air conditioning.
Truth be told, our family is not the biggest public transportation family, but I gotta say, this bus is always very clean, very comfortable, and as Colt pointed out, very cool inside. It's a nice way to escape some of the summer heat.
And what he means by we're not big public transportation people is because we love to walk so much, but this bus is twice as fast.
If we were to walk from the Marriott to the beach, it would probably take us about a half an hour. Depending on traffic, the bus will take between 10 and 15 minutes.
And Orange Avenue is pretty much like Main Street for Coronado. Here's our stop.
So we're just 1 block from the beach now.
Now, Coronado Beach, besides being one of the consistently top-rated beaches in all of North America for very obvious reasons you'll see once we get up here, also happens to be the birthplace and longtime home of the Navy SEAL team. So the BUDS program, or Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL School, that Navy SEAL trainees go through has been up here for many, many decades, although it is now, to our understanding, been pushed a bit farther south down to Imperial Beach, unfortunately. Prior to that, it was a lot of fun to watch the trainees running and swimming along the beach as they were going through all of their very, very rigorous training to become Navy SEALs.
Coronado is still home to the West Coast Navy SEAL teams, and a lot of these houses you'll see like a little insignia that indicates that they're Navy officers or pilots or some association with the military. It's a very big military island.
So here we are right back where we were earlier today when Aaron pointed out the Spreckles Mansion behind me, but now you can see this incredible beach, which is very long, stretches all the way down to the south end to the amphibious naval base and all the way up to the north end to the Naval Air Station North Island.
And that big peninsula darting out over there, that's Point Loma, another area in San Diego. You'll notice these sand dunes or mounds here, and there's some vegetation on top of it. It spells out Coronado. So if you have a really high aerial view, then you'll see Coronado. Real big on the beach.
Mom, can we go over to the lizard bush?
Okay, go ahead. It's an area down the beach where he likes to look for lizards.
I just caught a little baby fence lizard.
No doubt in my mind, if there's a lizard anywhere near Colt, he catches it.
It's actually a pretty warm day out here today, so we're gonna head into the little area of the village here called downtown and try to find a way to cool off.
Orange Avenue is where most of the shops and restaurants are, and they call it Orange Avenue because when the island first was getting developed, it was pretty much an orange grove going straight down. So no more orange trees, but kept the name. And Mootime is probably the most iconic stop on Orange Avenue for some ice cream.
Thank you, bud.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi, may I please have a small silly vanilla and some gummy bears with cream and cherry?
Thank you. One berry sorbet with, I'll have cherry, please. Yes, please.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You can have a few. I'm not gonna eat all of them. More than a few, actually. We have more than double few. Oopsie.
This day is really flying by, although we do have a few hours before our next family activity. Aaron and I, of course, are going to walk around the island a little bit. Brooklyn and Colt are gonna go back to the room, chill out for a bit, but the way that they're gonna get there is pretty cool. This is another free mode of transportation on the island. Tell them about it.
If you download an app called Circuit, you basically just get free rides. It's like a golf cart that will come and pick you up and take you wherever you need on the island. Just got it right here. And confirm, it's right there. And we'll tap confirm route if it's the right place. And then we have 2 passengers, no wheelchair access. Request it. And now it's searching for a car. So it shouldn't take too long for it to find us a car. 7 minutes.
All right, be safe, guys.
Yeah, be safe, stick together.
How cool is that? It's totally free. And this is the first we've heard of it and seen it. It wasn't here present on the island before. So that is the coolest thing ever. Colt's the one that told us about it. So we're gonna start using that too. If we don't feel like walking, which is like hardly ever, because we're gonna walk now.
This is Boney's Bayside. It's our favorite supermarket on the island. There are technically 3. One of them is just around the corner from here, but this is the one that's more focused on like local, organic kinds of foods. It's, I think, the best place on the island where you can buy meats and seafoods, and it's really just a couple of blocks away from the hotel, so it's perfect for us to get some things that we can take to eat on our adventure tonight. We're gonna get some tortilla chips, that should do it, and some dips to go with it.
We're gonna get some pap, some soda pap for the kids. Let's grab some, I'm thinking that Olipop, Dr. Goodwin, might be similar to Dr. Pepper. Our kids are kind of obsessed with it. And then I'm gonna pick out a few other flavors to go along with them. Cherry, orange squeeze, cream soda. Now let's get some dip, and I know which dip I want. Hi, can we get, I think it's a medium-sized container of the corn salad. Thank you.
Actually, I need a little something to enjoy on this adventure, so yeah, maybe a Prosecco, a small one. And then we need something sweet. I saw some really good cookies right around the corner. Boney's cookies, peanut butter. These look legit because they're not light peanut butter. I think that'll do it. Anything else, babe?
Nope, that's it.
All right, let's go. Let's check out.
We're back down here at the marina because we're gonna do a sunset cruise in the San Diego Bay.
Tonight's Bay experience is provided by Seaforth Bay Experiences, and this is Teven. He's our captain tonight. He also heads up this big venture, and this is an all-electric boat, which is why we are already underway, and you don't hear a single thing. It is so unbelievably quiet. I mean, granted, we're going slow right now, but this is really the way to boat. This is awesome.
Can I go to the back?
Yes.
I'm gonna go too.
And look how cute the boat is. The nautical stripes on the canopy and the pan. That's not actually wood.
No, it's
It's a faux wood, but it looks like wood, which is good enough. It's all about the aesthetics. But this is just kind of a perfect cruise right around sunset. We're gonna get that golden hour for pictures. Hey, you guys want a drink? This is like the Olipop Dr. Pepper. And then we have an orange squeeze, a cherry cola. I know what my baby wants. He wants his little split of bubbles. We got the cookies, we got this corn salsa. Good? Approved?
Approved.
There are a few different options that you can do for these boat rides. One would be like during the day. Obviously one of the most sought after, I would assume, is the sunset cruise, like what we're doing right now. But you can fit up to 8 people on these boats. We brought our own food and drinks, obviously, but there's another option called private and curated where they'll take care of all of that for you. And you can just kind of say what you want. Sushi, caviar, wines, they'll put it all together for you. It's basically as elaborate or as chill as you want to make it. But what a perfect way to either like welcome your vacation on the island, maybe for the first time get to know the bay, the area a little bit, just a cool activity in the middle of your trip, or even I think would be a really nice way to cap off an amazing stay in Coronado. But you can't beat the sunset or the views going under the bridge.
So what's your favorite thing about Coronado?
My favorite part was definitely the jet skis. The food's been really good. Where did we, Miguel's?
Miguel's for lunch today.
Ah, you did.
I think my favorite part is Orange Avenue. Like, I love walking up and down and shopping.
Exact same as Reagan. I love Orange Avenue.
What's your favorite store?
That's hard because they have a lot of restaurants and a lot of good stores, but I like Fuzzy Wigs and the Henry.
Brooklyn, what's your favorite thing about Coronado?
Mootime.
Of course, Mootime. My favorite thing might be the skyline, the San Diego skyline. Getting to see the city from the vantage point of Coronado is just,
I'm pretty much exactly the same way. Anything Bayside I think is a whole lot of fun. Whether it's Colt jumping in the water from the pier, or us jet skiing, or this incredible Sunset Bay cruise, or even just sitting on our patio at the hotel and looking at the skyline. I think it's just the right mix of city and island life. Speaking of, there's our hotel.
This was a beautiful cruise, and we're lucky that the water was so smooth, except for when a big Navy ship and some other bigger boats went through, giving us the wakes, and we had some boat turbulence. But we're pulling into the dock now, and since we only had a few light bites, we still need to get some food for dinner.
To close things out for tonight, we're heading just to the other side of the resort here, where every Thursday they pull together a cool little party full of food trucks, cocktails, and a lot of socializing. So we had to hit it, even though we've only got about an hour left until it closes for the week. So this is our only chance, and this is dinner.
Woo, this is like a party! And multiple food trucks. Looks like we're gonna have our choice. There are 4 food trucks here. It looks like we could do Mexican with Belinda's, go-go truck, maybe some fresh fish and chicken over there. Sushi. This is the first I've seen a sushi food truck. And then we have the Hawaiian plate lunch, so some Hawaiian food. Good options! And Brooklyn is already in line for some sushi.
I love poke bowls. I'm gonna get the poke bowl.
Do you see what you want, honey? Salmon roll.
I got a poke bowl and I asked for mine with only tuna because I love tuna. And it is great tuna. They got the fake crab. I believe it's fake.
We are all in the mood for sushi. And look what I got. This is called a Norito, or a sushi burrito. I've only heard of them before. This is the first time we've tried one. But it's basically like a ginormous sushi roll made to look like a burrito instead. So this one has some salmon, some crab, avocado, some greens, and fried, I think that's fried eel in there. This is a genius idea, but it's impossible to get all the flavors in one bite. It's a party here.
What a cool vibe. This is Memorial Day to Labor Day. Every Thursday, like I said, 4 different food trucks each Thursday, so you can get a wide variety, even though we're all sticking to this yummy little goodness here. But speaking of yummy, what a delicious vacation this has been. If you want to learn more about how we use Marriott and the Bonvoy program to fuel our travels all around the world, just go to followabc.com/Bonvoy. Big thanks to the resort. We've had a fantastic trip. Not our first time here, not going to be our last either. See you in the next episode.
We got a mini fridge down here and a coffee machine. Gotta have that Java in the morning. But the absolute best thing about this room, oh, careful, I'm sorry, honey. Good morning in sunny San Diego. Or should I say Coronado? Yeah, whoops, all right. I got a need for speed. That's where I'm at, regards to speed. But it can be in the massage room. I am gonna have a 60-minute sweetest massage. Did I say sweetest?
Yeah. Good. Okay, you wanna look at that? What do you see?
What do I see? Ooh, I see table golf.
Table tennis.
I am drooling.
Never mind. Cocktails are here. Okay, Marco.
This is solid. This is all from holding the camera. When Phil goes on a diatribe and I'm holding the camera, it's the only reason I've got some shape there. And oh, that's solid. Yeah.
Dad, why don't you rewatch that footage? Look at me in the background.
Oh, is it gonna be good?
Yeah, seriously do it. You should. Seriously do it.
We're gonna spend the whole day off island.
But tomorrow we're spending the whole day on
It's too much. Hold on. Yeah, she's the one who needs support.
That was beautiful.
I know. How do I learn how to do it?